everybody. Welcome to Tuesdays with Paula on Friday afternoon.
Imagine that.
That's right. How about that? We're doing something special today. I'm here at the headquarters of Soul Salt Inc. with Lynn Christian. And if you've ever had the opportunity to spend time with Lynn, then you know what an incredibly valuable and powerful that experience is. So please know that every moment of this is going to be very important for you. And our topic today is focus. First time I thought about us talking about that today, I was reminded of something Abraham Hicks said. I heard her not too long ago. She was watching a young mother take her children onto an airplane. And she said, hocus pocus focus. And I thought, not only is that really fun, but it really does have such an important meaning because magic happens when we focus, right? I mean, that really is what focus is all about. It's the power of attention. Our power of attention is the most important ingredient in our recipe of creation. When we can really harness all those squirrels that we have running all over the place, right? That scatter us everywhere and feel like little saboteurs keeping us from really getting to where we want to go. When we can call them in and really take the power of attention that we have as human beings and focus it onto a desired effect, everything changes. Right. And that is what Lynn Christian is going to talk to us about. Before we begin, I'm going to just hold 1 minute. I want to just start with an exercise that we can do. Really quick. You can do it anytime, anywhere, and it'll help you focus. You know, I've talked a lot about grounding, and when we ground, we get very focused. Most people don't realize it's the other way around as well. When we focus, we get very grounded. So, to focus today and ground so that we can really hear and take in everything Lynn says, let's just take a moment and look at 3 objects in the room. And if you can speak out loud, do it. If you're out in public, you probably don't want to do that. But look at 3 objects and describe it in detail. So I'm looking at a chair in front of me. It's orange. It has silver arms. Bless you. It's got some books on it. Top book is purple. I'm looking at a silver model of an airplane sitting on top of a silver bookcase. And I'm looking at a black TV screen. So that takes maybe 30 seconds. And it really does help you to focus in and feel more grounded. So now let's take a big breath, breathe into your heart, come into your body and let your shoulders drop, bring your attention in, and let's hear from Lynn. Tell us all about Lynn Christian and Soul Salt Inc.
Soul Salt Inc. Well, that was a beautiful little experiment and a great exercise. So that's one that I highly recommend that you try anytime that you feel like you're getting distracted. I'm Lynn Christian. I'm the founder of Soul Salt Inc. It's a company that supports people who need life strategies, career coaching, and business coaching. I specifically work with entrepreneurs and free agent thinkers whose goal is to be a badass. That means that they want to live their life and earn their living and make a contribution by doing things that inspire them. And so there are 3 things I'm going to share with you today, 3 ways to sort of get grounded and focused. And I've studied this because I was not a focused child. I had my own sort of ADD long before. You know, I grew up in the early 60s, so we didn't have a name for why I literally climbed door casings and spun around. And my dad was a truck driver at the time, and my mom would send me off on truck driving trips with him. Because
Get out of the house,
I
Lynn.
would wear her out. And she had one other child, a daughter, an older daughter, that I was so much different than that my mom didn't quite know what to do with me. I tore every leotard I ever wore. I could not wear dresses very gracefully. And so they sent the tomboy off with that. So it's something that I struggled with. And if I was really, really good naturally at focusing, I wouldn't be sitting here with Paula. I've had to study it because I realized that we can have talent, we can have dreams, we can have desires, we can be inspired. And all of that nets us 0 when and if we can't stay focused enough to deliver or experience that next level beyond, hey, I'm inspired, or hey, I have this great idea. We need to do something with that. So without focus, we really seem scattered. So the three things today, the first one we're going to talk about needs, the second one we're going to talk about physical awareness and well-being, and the last one we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you a little simulation, so grab a pencil and a paper, we'll do a simulation to show you how sometimes we trip ourselves up when we need focus and how easily we can make an adjustment. And again, this is something I've studied. In fact, I have an online course that because you're an affiliate with Paula, you can actually get on with a discount, and because you're watching this today, you can join us, and she'll give you a link for that if you'd like to be part of the Be Focus group, because I've studied it and I'm supporting other people who feel a little flirpy, and flirpy is a fabricated word I picked up from one of the mothers of one of my students when I was a school teacher. She called her child flirpy, and I thought that was a beautiful way to say, this child lets the balls drop through the cracks way too often.
And that's actually, that's one of the reasons that I wanted to have Lynn come on, because I've done the Be Focused program, and it's so powerful and so amazing. I thought, okay, Lynn's got to tell everybody I know about this.
So let's start with something you can do right now and not chase squirrels and chase flashy distractions or other objects. So the first one is getting our needs met. Most of us don't realize that we're not getting our needs met, and our needs, unmet needs, can run rampant through our lives and through our behaviors. For instance, here's just a simple one. How many of you need light? You need light in your life. You need to be able to open a window. You need to be able to turn on a light switch. Well, just look around your house. If you say you need light, and you have fixtures that are light fixtures where the light bulb is missing or is not working, then that's a great place to start to realize that you might actually have a distraction that's just buzzing over your head saying, take care of me. You don't have enough light. It's just sending you those messages, and you don't realize that that's pulling away from your focus. It's really, truly, cognitively, we can only focus on one thing at a time. If we try to multitask, what we're really doing is we're focusing for a moment on something and then splitting that hair and coming over here and focusing on this. So neuroscience tells us that multitasking is a way of fracturing your own focus. Likewise, in your home, if you're a homeless person and you don't have food, water, shelter, you don't have a really good place to sleep, you're going to have a hard time focusing, because inwardly you're going to be in the reptilian brain, or you're going to be in your amygdala in the back of your head, where I-centric, low trust, skepticism, and fear reside because you're not getting your needs met. So look around your life and see what are your needs. And we all have different needs. I had one client who needed, because she was a platform artist, meaning she was up on the platform and she was performing and cutting and coloring hair, she needed to have her blacks match because color was one of her specialties. So there are brown blacks. Some of you know what I'm talking about. I did not know this till I worked with this client. Brown blacks, green blacks, gray blacks. There is a color tone behind every black, and if her blacks didn't match, she felt incongruent on stage. Yes.
Wow.
So we found out what that core need was. It wasn't food, water, and shelter, but she had this thing that was a distraction, so she couldn't focus and show up big and proud and bold and true when she was being distracted. So it was an interesting phenomenon. What we did is we just matched the blacks. We put them under a number of lights. You never know how the lights on a stage are going to be from one stage in one city to another. And we tested them under lights, and she had this set of the repertoire of blacks that would match. So when we got the need match, she was a far better platform artist. So look around your life. You have some needs. If they're unmet, they could be running rampant through your life and distracting you and keeping you from focusing. So start to get needs met. Another one is learning to focus, and this is specifically for women. I'm going to be talking about, because next week is International Women's Week and Women's Day on the 8th. And so, ladies and guys, you can listen to, because it will help you as well. But in the last 5 days, 2 of my clients have come in and said the one thing that helped them focus in their life and to calm down all that churning and burning in their head, or the ideas ping-ponging back and forth, was to start moving again. To start taking care of eating correctly, the hygiene in their sleep, and moving. One woman just came home and she walked for 5 minutes. She'd come home, check on the family. She'd go for a walk for 5 minutes. She started to come back into herself. So here's something I will promise you, and this is one of the strategies we work on at Soul Salt, and for some of us who think No, the badasses are the people, because Team Badass is who we support. People who really want to be strong and true and focused. If you're out there every day just putting all your eggs in the basket that pays somebody else's bills, or you're an employee and you're just working day in and day out to do your job, or even if you love what you do and you give everything to it, you're forgetting about the goose that lays the golden eggs. That's you. So when these ladies realized that when they took care of their physical being, they slept better, they ate better, even if it meant that they had to spend more time in the kitchen preparing their meals and less time looking at one more email or answering one more answer from somebody at work. And they turned off the world in their own home and made that a treasure trove of focus for themselves. They were able to change how they showed up at work. One of them just killed a presentation in Washington, D.C. in front of an audience of 500 this week because she is paying attention to her own well-being first. The other one is an executive director here in Salt Lake, and she had a smile on her face again. And she's been in a little bit of a funk, a little bit of a post-Christmas family sort of crisis mode. She came in with a smile on her face, and it was that movement, that 5 minutes of movement. So please take care of yourself. If you want to be able to focus, take care of the machine or the being or the entity that is you first, however you want to look at it. In fact, in the morning in this Be Focused program, I have a Strong Start program where I don't turn on anything electronically until I've taken the dogs out, I've had my morning meditation, I've done something creative, I've planned my day, and I've also done a little bit of movement, a stretch or two. Takes 5 or 7 minutes. This is not a daily workout. This is just a strong start. So strong arm the world and take care of you first, and you will find 100%. This works for men and women. You will find you're a better employee, a better partner, you're a better mother. You like yourself better. You have more confidence and presence because you can focus appropriately. Because first you're being grounded. Sort of relates to the exercise you had to start with, Paula.
I'm just being reminded of just did a 4-day advanced rapid eye training a couple of weeks ago, and one of the first things the instructor said, because of course we all want to continue taking our work to a higher level of performance. First thing she said is, if you want to expand and increase your capacities, it requires exquisite self-care.
Yes.
Exquisite self-care.
And the people who do this, surprisingly enough, are the people who get the promotions. In fact, one gentleman who did this, he stopped doing so many things. He first said no to anything that didn't have to do with his job description. He acted like he was just a consultant. And then he started saying no to all the extra meetings and the emails that he used to chime in on threads and jump into meetings just for 5 minutes of his expertise. If he wasn't needed for 80 to 90% of that meeting, he stepped out. And the same with the threads on the email. And he kept saying no and no. And then he turned his phone off and reconnected with his wife at night and had date night again. Could watch a movie again. When he did that, he could see disappointment in the eyes of the other people that he worked with. But at the end of the day, the end of the year, he had his greatest performance review ever. And he got a bonus and a raise because of how focused he was. So I want to do a little simulation. This is actually part of the Be Focused course, but I'm going to let you guys in on this. So if you have your paper and pencil, what we're going to do here in just a moment is we're going to have you draw 3 columns. I'm going to have Paula do it on my whiteboard in my office. So we'll simulate this with you. And just notice what's happening in the first exercise. Then we'll change the exercise out and we'll do another exercise. So follow precisely how we go through this so you can have this simulation. It's not a flight simulator. It's not a driving simulator. It's a focus simulation. Okay? So, Paula, I'm going to have you grab some, we're going to move this so you can see it. And, of course, it's going to be backwards. But if you can see the wipe-off board, draw 3 columns. And while those of you who are out there, draw 3 columns. And it's going to be backwards as you see Paula working. Column number 1, the first column, is going to be ABC. So in the first column on your left, you're going to write ABC. In the middle column, you're going to write January, January to December. Jan to DEC. All right? And then we're going to write 1 through 12.
1-12?
1-12. And what we're going to do is, and Paula, come hold this. Okay, in the ABC column, if you can see that, we'll just turn it here. What you're going to do is you're going to write the first letter of the alphabet, A. Then you're going to go to the middle column and you're going to write January. And then you're going to go to the number column and you're going to write 1. Then you're coming back and you're going to write B, February, 2. C, March, 3. And you're going to go until we get to the 12 months, the 12 numbers, and until we get to L. Do not cheat. Do not try to go vertically. Go horizontally. And if you want to have a lot more fun with this, pull out a timer so you can time. I'm going to be timing for Paula, so if you want to follow along with the timer. Again, she's going to go A, Jan, 1, B, Feb, 2, and so forth. And then she's going to tell us when she's finished. So,
you got a couple days?
Here you go. Don't go till we get the timer started.
All right.
She's ready. Hopefully you guys are ready. Give us just a second here. Okay, get on your mark. Get set. Go, Paula. A minute 5. So, Paula, tell us, what did you experience?
That I had to really focus, especially the alphabet. I don't really have it memorized out of order, right? So I had to really focus on where I was and go back and redo it. And I wasn't able to think about anything else.
Yeah.
I just really had to completely just focus on each one as I was doing them.
Okay, so those of you who are watching, go ahead and erase those. Tell us, what did you experience? How was that for you? What did you notice? Did it distract you? Did it take you out of your full flow? What happened? How long did it take you? Now we're going to do the same exercise, the same thing. We're going to start with the ABCs, A through L. Then we're going to go December to January, 1 through 12. But this time, only work vertically. So do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to L. Move over to the column where you have January, February, March, April, May, all the way to December. And then go to the 1, 2, 3s and go 1, 2, 3, all the way to 12. We're going to time this again. And so notice in your mind and in your heart what was different. So here we go.
Doing the same thing again.
Same thing again, but this time you get to go.
See, I wasn't focusing.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
What am I doing?
This time, okay, so what you get to do is now go vertically. So instead of going horizontal and breaking it up, do all the ABCs until you get to L. Then do all.
So do all of these and then all of these and then all of those. Okay.
Yeah, ready?
All right, yeah.
Okay, go. Here she is. She's off to the races. Going really fast. She's getting it.
What a difference. It's here.
Those are the 1 through...
Oh.
Done. Okay, half the time.
Yeah, what a difference.
What a difference. Okay, we'll come back to our seats. Okay. So, what did you experience in the second experience versus the first?
To focus just on one thing, it was much clearer. It was, of course, faster. Much less stress. You know, the first one, there was a little undercurrent of stress of, oh boy, am I going to remember what the other ones are? You know, it was just a lot easier.
So, proof in the pudding. These are the sorts of things I've studied because I had to get myself to focus. I knew I was receiving inspiration. I knew I had some creativity. I knew I had great ideas. My heart wanted to express itself and give my gifts. And I couldn't get that to be at the level of accomplishment until I learned to focus. So here's one of the little exercises I run into, actually borrowing this from a Scrum book, but I don't know who was the actual individual, if it was Agile or which genius came up with this. But what it simulates is what we do to ourselves day to day. As you can see, we jump from one project to another, we do a bite-sized chunk, and then we make a millimeter of progress in a million different places and never really complete things at a speed where there's real power. So if you'll break it down, first of all, first tip from this, if you have to have projects, have 3, no more than 3 at a time. Work on one at a time, because we've learned that by the time you break away from that one and go to the other one, if you want to come back to the first project, 24 times longer to come back. You have to find out where that flow was. You have to reinsert yourself before you can get back in the flow and finish what you were doing. So chunk it down one project at a time. If you have to move through 3, bite-sized chunk, what you're going to complete. We didn't have her do the whole alphabet. A, L. We didn't do 2 years worth of months, just 1. And we didn't do all the numbers, just a dozen. So break them up into bite-sized chunks, focus on one, get a complete package done before you go to the next. It's best if you're going to just go for one project a day, but not everybody can do that. So,
I recently heard someone talking about, I don't remember the source, she said she read this, that someone who was really very successful, he said he takes 4 hours of creativity, 4 hours of time where he just does, no interruptions, just works on his creative one thing at a time. Yeah.
That's a really great practice. Here at Soul Salt, we have a creative meeting on Wednesday mornings. And from that creative meeting, we work outside of the office on Fridays. I'm the only person that works inside the office, and my employees go and they work either in a coffee shop or at home, and that's when they get to implement what we covered on Wednesdays. 3M does this. If you start to notice that anybody who gives themselves more creativity and more long stretches of time come up with million-dollar ideas or the satisfying projects. So today we've covered 3 things. Needs. Needs don't have to be just food, water, shelter. When you find a need, be it the color of black so that you're wearing or the lights above your head, get needs met so they don't distract you. Second one is take care of you. Health and welfare of you first. Take care of yourself with sleep, good eating, and some movement. And then finally, don't fracture your focus. Learn to stay on one path in long streams of time before you finish. I like to put breadcrumbs or a bookmarker in where I finish the day or that day so I know where to come back to the next day. One thing at a time. That's all that the universe really asks of you, or we would have brains that could actually multitask and not be fractured in focus. And again, if you want to find out more about our Be Focused program, we'd love to have you be part of it.
That's wonderful.
This lady's an affiliate, so she can get you hooked up with a discount and a coupon code. So thank you for letting me be part of this.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Lynn. That was great. That was great. I told you, every minute with Lynn is so valuable. It's great. And it really has me turning. My focus has gotten better. But I know now it's not as good as I need it to be. And I think of Lynn often when I'm doing something, and then I'll have that thought come in of, oh, you have to do this. And it's the discipline to stay with what I'm doing and not go do that thing. Sometimes I have to stop and write down that thing, and then just get right back on it. But I've realized how much of my life I've just followed those, oh, got to do that, oh, got to do this, okay, and then wondered why, I was of stuck.
Yeah, or you feel like you're turning and burning and not getting anywhere, and that is exactly how I am. Honestly, if you were inside my head, you would be so distracted by squirrel that I come up with. So if you're like that, this is what I created it for. It's a planner agnostic program. It's designed for people who know that you want to focus. You know that a one-size-fits-all system is not going to fit you. And so it shows you how to realign yourself, get focused, follow my simple structure, and then start playing with your own so that you can customize your own structure. And if you ever find out that that one's boring or doesn't work as well as it used to, you come back, reapply the principles and the structure, and then you go out and build another spaceship of focus for yourself.
It's really, it's a wonderful format for taking care of the squirrels.
Yeah.
It really is. I noticed an immediate difference when I. It's almost like stepping into a different paradigm of how to use your time.
Yeah, because it's not time management.
Right.
It's focus management. And really, wherever your focus goes, your time goes. So in the links with these two videos, I'm sorry we had some technical difficulties in the middle as we were moving to the simulation. But in the links, we'll have Paula plant the little seed if you want to come and join us there. If not, I hope today's been helpful because from one person to another, focus management has challenged me. And when I started to feel confident, even though it's a practice still now at age 57, it's still a practice. I still have to work on it. It is something that has changed my life. So I've gone from lack of confidence, feeling scattered, feeling like I was going to be that flirty person that people can count on, to being responsible, to having a company of my own, employees, and to have better relationships with those people that really matter to me, including myself. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time and attention. Bye-bye. See you Tuesday morning. Tuesday's Paula.